Now, no white man born after 1980 can remotely relate to the sentiment of having a slave, having slaves do work. And no black people or colored people can relate to being owned and not being able to provide for themselves. But even though none of us directly have a connection to what happened in the past, as the ancestors of those people, we still have to bear the consequences of what happened in the past. It's not like we can just erase fucking history. But in a way, we can erase history, and we're the ones that decide how important that type of stuff is. A lot of white people disassociate from it, and a lot of colored people disassociate from it. But the burden falls on us to make things right, to fix perceptions. And so here we are.
Unsettling to hear white men insist that they were born. Even if you take it. As a brown man, it's always so unsettling to hear white men insist that they were born in the wrong generation. Like, what generation were you supposed to be born into then? The one where you'd strip women of all of their aspirations outside of being a servant housewife? No education, no voting, no bank account? Or maybe the one where you practice literal slavery and open xenophobia? Or maybe the one where you criminalize people for choosing to love someone of the same gender? Or maybe the one where you installed capitalism into developing countries to exploit them of their natural resources and deprive the people of their futures? Which one is it? Which one are you talking about? As a brown man, it's always so unsettling to hear white men insist that they were born in the wrong generation. Like, what generation were you supposed to be born into then? The one where you'd strip women of all of their aspirations?
This guy here may get the biggest award for cynicism of the year. I mean, for starters, I'm pretty sure you have to acknowledge, like, they aren't saying it out of... I mean, I bet you on the screen, you right here, this guy, I bet he believes that there's fucking 73 and you can self-identify as a different one every fucking day. Second of all, I don't think that the eras you brought up are the only eras that ever happened on the earth. There's a fuck ton of eras. What if they're saying that they want to go to like fucking medieval times? I mean, medieval times were relatively bad. There were rampant misogynist monarchies or lords of the land. They could get away with doing relatively whatever the fuck they wanted. We all know why this nigga posted this. He literally just did it for fucking points. I mean, first of all, he made it onto like the girl powerful fucking page on YouTube, so obviously he was just doing this for points. I bet him and half of his other homosexual friends in their fucking libtard echo chambers white knight for any group they feel like is oppressed. And they do everything they say not to do. They're the most hypocritical when it comes to insulting. And here's a little nuance. If you were fucking living in those goddamn times, it wouldn't have been a problem. I acknowledge that, okay, you're traveling back from this generation, but hey, they objectively tell me that you don't think to yourself sometimes, damn, I don't want to fucking do this work. If only I just had a goddamn slave. Whether that means you have a slave laborer or like you got a fucking clone who's just gonna do all the work while you chill. Like, outsourcing work is something we still fucking do to this day. Are you gonna sit here and act like there's no issues with feminism? Are you going to sit here and act like there's no issues with organizations that preach racial prosperity? Or are you going to sit here and pretend that you really encounter a bunch of fucking white people who say they're living in the wrong generation? What if I said that? Okay, I'm a black person. What if I said I'm living in the wrong generation? Would you be like, I'm so tired of hearing black men that insist they're living in the wrong generation. And then does that mean you want to go back to a time where you were in Africa running around in the bush chasing antelope with your spear? Does that mean you want to go back to a time where your male counterparts were selling people that they pillaged? Or you would leave your tribe's little village and go persecute another one and take all of their shit? There is no end to these fuckers and their moral grandstanding. They're a bunch of losers who literally have nothing to fucking do. I mean, at least on our side, we acknowledge that that's what we are. But these fuckers are literally acting like high and mighty. Why? What makes you so fucking high and mighty? Look at you. You are literally, he looks like he's fucking Middle Eastern or Arabic or something along these lines. Okay, so let's go down this road. What about him? If he wanted to live in a different generation where you oppressed women and took away their right to literally be a person, and you said it was because you had love for them, that you were going to give them treatment that was better for them? Is it because you want to go back to a time when you were a fucking slave trader with a fucking multinational slave trade? Is it because you want to go back to a time when you could run into someone's fucking establishment and cut off their fucking head because they said something halal? I mean, I am assuming this nigga's race, but you get what I'm trying to say. I feel like these people literally just have nothing to do with their time. I mean, hey, I guess I'm the same fucking way, but at least I don't fucking, like, acknowledge that and then get on fucking TikTok and make, like, some type of fucking lame-ass post about social fucking dynamics. Like, I guess the closest thing you can get to that from me is like about fucking gender ideology these days. But do I even make uploads like that? I don't know. Who cares? Peace out. This video got too long. No one's going to watch this shit. And if you made it this far, do me a favor and subscribe.